Serena Williams versus Andy Murray. I felt like Sam Shocker when I did that, by the way. I'm sorry, guys. I love Sam Shocker, though. Serena Williams versus Andy Murray. I love Sam Shocker. No dig on her at all. Great stuff at Pop Trigger. So, okay. Billie Jean King, as we all know, in 1973 played Bobby Riggs. It was one of the most pivotal points for women to be just as equal as men in the sporting hemisphere. Now, because of the great medium of Twitter, one person said to Andy Murray, "Dude, why aren't you playing Serena Williams?" And his response was, "Well, you know what? Actually, I'll read you the direct quote. I've never hit with her, but she's obviously an incredible player, and I think people would be interested to see the men play against the women to see how the styles match up." And then Serena Williams was quoted as saying, "Really? He wants to play me? Is he sure? That would be fun." And then she went on to say that, "I don't even think I'd win a point." You'd definitely win a point. I think she could actually potentially win an entire set if they were to go 3. Her serve is just as powerful, in my opinion, when watching as the men. Look, the men hit hard. Guess what? Serena Williams blows out the competition, as we have seen throughout her Hall of Fame-worthy career in the sport of tennis. But the better question is, could she compete? I say yes. Ben Heisler, what say you?
I don't know. I think her own analysis is pretty telling when she says, "I don't think I'd win a point." I don't think Serena Williams isn't necessarily the type of person that is very modest about herself. "Oh, I don't think I'd win a point against Andy Murray. He's really good. I'm not that good." That's not really Serena Williams.
Right.
She'd get a point. There'd be a few that go into the net, but
you can't see her winning a set, is what you're saying.
Sets. I think Murray takes straight sets on her. I don't think this is much of a competition.
Okay, interesting.
And Serena Williams is the greatest women's tennis player, certainly of this generation, arguably of all time.
Yes.
But I mean, we've seen situations like this in other sports, and unfortunately for the ladies, it hasn't always gone as well when they play up against the men. I'm not saying that I don't think I'd be intrigued or entertained, but if you're asking me who would win in a tennis match between Andy Murray and Serena Williams, it's going to be Andy Murray.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Andy Murray would win, but I would not rule out Serena being highly competitive. Here's the big question.
Of course she'd be competitive, but I don't think she takes a set from Andy Murray.
Okay, well, I think she could potentially take a set if her serve is on and her movement is good. The biggest problem with Andy Murray playing Serena Williams is that Serena Williams has had some pretty bad injuries where she's had to withdraw from certain competitions, and the other part is her movement. She just doesn't move as well as Andy Murray. If she hits her shots precisely on the line and she plays out of her skin, she could, I'm not going to say potentially beat. I still think she takes a set and she's highly competitive.
Here's the problem with this match, and really it's sort of a PR standpoint for Andy Murray. If you win, everybody expects you to win, and nothing really is gained out of it except for maybe a sponsorship deal, for the actual event itself, and maybe some cash in his back pocket.
Yeah.
If he loses, and then you have people talking about this for days, and then you're starting to question everything.
Just like Bobby Riggs.
There you go. So I think at this point, if you're Andy Murray, there needs to be really, really good incentive to do this. But I mean, if you're Serena Williams and you're trying to get more exposure for yourself, and really it's win-win for her, why not do it? Why not give it an opportunity?
So it's high risk, low reward for Murray, and it's the complete opposite for Serena Williams. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, you brought up a very fair point. So obviously, I think it won't happen now.